Hiya, folks. I hope you've been keeping well since we last met in semester one of your year one. This is just a short presentation to give you an overview of the optional module in semester one of your second year imaging and design two. So I'm the module coordinator of this, and I'll be teaching this module as well. So just to give you a quick overview of the module in terms of what it does, what it's really focusing on is establishing and developing your competency in both theories and practices relating to graphic design. So we're focusing on vector design in this module. So you're going to be grounded in this sort of the concepts and the elements of how to build elements of graphic design together to create pleasing and innovative compositions in vector design. But what it also does is it tries to kind of contextualize graphic design within more critical studies in visual culture as well. And we'll talk about doing good design and ideas of good design, not just in technical competency, but for social good as well. So basically, you'll be doing some practice in graphic and vector design, and you'll be thinking critically about the role of graphic design and applying that to create visual works in a body of work during the semester. So that's basically the key kind of module overview for CM240. Just to kind of think about the learning outcomes next. So basically it's to develop an understanding of graphic design theories and also to develop an understanding of graphic design elements. So we're talking about, in terms of theories, we're talking about kind of layout and composition. And then in terms of graphic design elements, it's those bits and pieces that make up a visual design. So things like lines and shapes and color and typography. So what we're also going to be doing is, by way of a learning outcome, also get you to think about graphic and visual design in cultural and economic and social contexts, so that we're not just doing sort of just kind of churning out work, but we're thinking of the role of visual design as a piece of culture as well. And obviously, because it's a practice-based module, a learning outcome is that you're implementing the use of graphic assets in a body of work as we go through the semester. So moving on, in terms of our indicative content, I'm going to start very briefly with some design history. We're going to look throughout the module with some key designers so to give you some supports in that, and also obviously extra supports for your independent learning as well. As I mentioned, we're talking about cultural and socioeconomic contexts in here as well, and the idea of doing good design. So that means sort of socially relevant and socially valuable design. So we'll be focusing on that as an element of design. Obviously, things like composition and layout by way of content for design theories and how we think about a composition, which is different to photographic composition. And then we'll look at some of the design elements in there, things like line shape, type and color. So basically, in terms of the content, we're aiming to teach you good principles and practices of design through vector software. So I'll be doing demos through Adobe Illustrator, technically because you're learning the good principles and practices of graphic design. You could, if we didn't have Adobe Illustrator, technically you could do a lot of this stuff in Microsoft Word. So while I'll be showing you demonstrations on Adobe Illustrator, it's not to sort of fetishize it or make it the only kind of game in town. So you could be doing it in other software, and we'll be looking at analog design a little bit as well. But that's overall the indicative content for the module. Then in terms of your assignments or your workload, I'll be asking for a portfolio, which will be showing ongoing evidence of independent learning, ongoing evidence of practice and reflection. And what you see here, ongoing evidence, means checkpoints and deadlines on maybe sometimes a weekly or a bi-weekly basis. A little bit like how we did CM122. However, I'll probably not be using loop reflect. It might be a different delivery mechanism, but I'd be expecting that you'll be doing that workload on an ongoing basis. Then a little bit like CM122 as well, I'll be doing some quizzes to help support your independent learning and give you a few checkpoints in along the way as well. So it'll be similar in some ways to CM122 and the assessment and that ongoing workload that's expected of you. But as I said, the actual delivery of the assignments might just change slightly. And as you'll know from CM122, the workload for this module is continuous. It's expected that you're delivering good quality work throughout the semester, rather than being assessed maybe for a final assessment or assessed twice during the semester. So it's an ongoing workload. Um, and basically that's it. We've gone through the module overview, we've gone through the learning outcomes and the assessments. So I hope that helps you make a decision on whether this is for you or not. As I said, we're going to stick very much in vector design and graphic design. So that might be for you or it may not be. But I hope that helps you in your decision anyway. Thanks folks, and I hope to see you in the new year, new academic year.